Canadian racers, make sure your next set of seatbelts and racing suit are from pro1safety.ca. Pro One Racing and Safety Products offer high-quality products made in the USA and now distributed in Canada. Pro One Canada offers seatbelts, racing suits, helmets, and all sorts of safety accessories for drag racers. See for yourself why NHRA sportsmen world champions such as Bo Butner, Jeff Strickland, the Emmons brothers, Austin Williams, and many more rely on Pro One Racing and Safety Products. Join the winners. Choose Pro One. Buy high-quality American-made products from your Canadian wholesale distributor at pro1safety.ca.
Hello and welcome back to the Bracket Life broadcast with myself and my always wonderful co-host Andrew. How's it going?
Not too bad. Just making some camera adjustments here I didn't notice earlier.
Absolutely. You always got to be tweaking it, right?
That's it.
Got to stay on top of it. This week's episode, episode number 10, Snakebite Bob brings it up, lets us know. Episode number, I feel like it's going really fast. You know what?
We were talking before the show, and I seen somewhere on the notes at episode 10, and I'm like, it doesn't feel like we've done 10, but we have.
It feels like a milestone.
It does.
Like of some sort, right? Exciting. So this week's episode presented by pro1safety.ca. So Pro One Safety Canada brought in Jay Bellew, taking care of all that stuff from Octane Performance. Now we have 4 dealers. Since last time we talked on here, there was only 3. Now we've added an extra one. The newest dealer for Pro One Safety is Jonathan DeVries at Matt's Auto Racing. So they have area, right? Jonathan located, I guess, Southern Ontario, right?
He's down in Niagara region, I believe. So like Welland area. Serving Southern Ontario.
Yep. So all your stuff, they've got lots of stuff in stock. You can order anything from him. As always, Travis Ringeth at West in Alberta, taking care of that whole Western Canada area. And then Jason McNeil, J&B Racing, taking care of the Maritimes. So they're starting to spread, right? We're starting to get more people. So really, Pro One Safety is expanding there. So all 4 of those guys, check them out. I love it. I just got, we talked about gloves before.
Yep.
I don't think I told you this. I bought, after talking with you about having the stitching on the outside, I bought new gloves.
Did you?
Yeah. So I got them. Jay brought them to the racetrack for me. So I tried them on. First race at iCar. I love them.
Yeah.
I've been double entering the dragsters, myself and my brothers. So I keep like a separate set instead of just take one pair because then you're going to forget them.
Yeah.
So in Daniel's car, I keep the Pro One gloves with the stitching on the inside.
Yep.
And in my car now, I have the stitching on the outside. I love them both. I'm unsure of which one I enjoy more yet.
Yep. Yeah.
But I'm really happy with them.
I'm looking forward to trying it. I was hoping this past weekend I was going to have an opportunity to try them out. I had everything packed, and I've been practicing with them all winter, right, off the practice street. I'm like, you know what? These are way better, but I have no real-world experience. You do. Later in the show here, you get to talk about that real-world experience, right?
That's right. That's right.
The outside stitching gloves apparently are at least leading some fields right now for you, but we'll let you fill that in later on.
Yes, they are the hot ticket. Check out the pro1safety.ca. Check them out for everything. Fire suits, gloves, helmets, safety equipment, Hans devices, stuff like that.
Shoes, racing shoes.
Racing shoes,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Need comfortable racing shoes. Everybody does.
That's it.
There's nothing like a crappy racing shoe sucks.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's no time for that.
I've been living with that for a couple of years now. The Pro One, again, another piece of product I want to try this weekend and I never got to because I've been wearing them around the shop, breaking them in. I'm like, these are awesome. I can't wait to actually do something with them.
Yeah.
Good set of shoes, man. It makes all the difference in the world.
Excellent. So thanks to them taking care of us, keeping the show going. We'll head into the Canadian countdown. Yep. We obviously, as we said, we have a lot of racing to talk about for here. Unfortunately, only for me, not as much for you yet.
No, not yet.
But the weather will eventually cooperate for you, bud.
Well, hey, like we missed some pretty severe weather out here, I have to be honest with you. But you guys probably got the brunt of in Luskville. But our season was supposed to kick off on 2-4, but unfortunately, as it got closer to 2-4, they went backwards and backwards and backwards, and finally, I think we avoided something big up there. But 2 more weeks, so. But so there's big racing. So we did, I guess I should say, Southern Ontario to get some racing in at the very least, right? Cayuga, Toronto Motorsports Park. Everyone around here, it's Cayuga, but Toronto Motorsports Park, I'm still not used to that, and it's only been like 25 years.
That's right.
They actually got I think they're the only ones out in our sector of the world that got running because St. Thomas wasn't running. GBM, unfortunately, had to cancel, so they ran Saturday. Toronto did, and so Blake Sutton, local race from around here, he does a lot of box, no box racing, and I think it's a Cavalier that he has. No, Saturn.
Yeah, it is.
Cavi? Yeah.
Cavalier.
Yeah, I think it's Cavalier. That's awful. I should remember that. But they just picked up a dragster this off season. Didn't get all the details on it. Nice looking car. So first race out after a couple weekends of testing, he picks up a Super Pro win, and actually was pulling double duty. So he had the door car there too. A buddy of mine, Glenn Baker, Super Stock was supposed to be a Grand Bend with us as for Can-Am Stock Super Stock season opener. When that all got canceled, a bunch of the guys I saw went down to Cayuga because everyone was looking to go somewhere, and Cayuga was still saying that they're on. So my buddy Glenn rolls down there in his Super Stock Buick, ends up getting the win over Blake in the final Amati T. That was the only race that happened because Sunday morning by 11 o'clock, I checked the results, and they were already rained out. So I see Bill Thompson says Sunfire. That I knew I was going to get it wrong. So yeah, there it is. My apologies. So Blake had a good start to the season, taking 2 whips to the final rounds. Glenn off to a good start, shaking things down, and literally went testing. I'm texting with him the whole time. I'm like, how's testing going? Well, we're going around 4. I'm like, well, that's a pretty good test session, I guess, right?
Testing is working. And I believe that they said that was Blake's first win.
I didn't know that. I wasn't sure. So yeah, it could be. I've seen him go rounds. It's kind of one of those things where I've seen Blake go rounds. Kirk Vanny, who is a very reputable racer this way, had a lot of wins in Super Pro, has a super stock car. He's won, and they work together and they race together. I always see them going rounds. I've just maybe never put it together. That might have been Blake's first win.
I believe
so it was a big first one for him. Who else from out in this area? There's actually a lot of going on out here. Kenny Hebert. So many of you may or not know, Kenny owns the internet infamous Austin Mini, the blue one. 1320 Video did a feature on it. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. It's 565 powered Mini, full tube chassis setup for anyone who doesn't know his car. It's a wicked little beast, right? All of 99 inches. I think he said he's gone as fast as 790s on this car with spray, right? So it's an 840s car. So Kenny decides to go for a short road trip down to Tennessee because why not, right? That's
whatever.
Weekend of racing. Ends up at Brainerd Motorsports Park, picks up a no box win. I think it was about 2 weeks ago, I think is when this was. So May,
I believe so, yes.
7th or 14th. It's 1 or 2 weeks ago.
I think the 14th.
You're right. So yeah, just a week ago, I guess, thereabouts. So great W for Kenny. Kenny loves heading south. He's you always see him down at Ducks race running open comp. He's done well down at some of the Coast Series, Galen Rollinson's races. We've raced down south with him at Memphis. Great racer. He's finished in the top 5 in quick rod and IHRA back in the day. So great to see Kenny get a W. Mike Konopacki. I don't know if you know of the Konopacki name.
I do know that. I know the name.
You know the name? Okay.
It stands out.
It should. Mike is a legendary bike racer from out.
Yes, that's how it is. Because Harry Olsen was helping out Mike before.
Yes,
Harry has told me lots of stories.
Oh yeah, tons. Mike and his son, I think it's Adam Konopacki, legendary racers. Mike's raced for years. Goes way back. Dad's told me stories about these guys running around. So they went down to South Georgia Motorsports Park. Maybe a season kickoff. I'm not quite sure, but he ends up going down. So the Man Cup motorcycle drag racing series, basically the largest bike only series in North America. I imagine that's a fair statement. He ends up winning Super Comp, so 890 index, right? Like we're used to hearing in the NHRA Super Comp. And then picks up a runner-up in Pro ET as well. And Mike's won everything. Like, Harry's told many stories about his adventures with Mike down south, but great to see those guys. Great to see Mike out racing. Great to see him doing well. He's fantastic family, great people. They race around here quite a bit at Cayuga, but big time racer down south. So great to see them doing well and back out and running. Why don't you tell us a bit about what's going on in Alberta? You've got some updates from out there.
Yeah, so I'm excited for this one. This is why we started this. This is why we wanted to do like the Bracket Life, everything, right, was about Canadian drag racing, to bring it up. So today I learned, and I believe this is the first you've ever heard of it as well, or whenever you had been informed of it, of Area 53 Raceway.
Yes.
In Forestburg, Alberta. They were racing. Oh, I don't know if I froze it. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, it happens. They were racing, and this is a sweet little track. We were just watching videos of this before, right? We were watching videos on their website. It looks pretty cool.
It does. It does. Yeah. I just got tuned in. Today I kind of got filled in on some of this stuff, and this looks like a sweet little track. It's Forestburg, Alberta.
Yeah.
So like 2 hours south of Edmonton, southeast, I think I said, 3 hours northeast of Calgary, like airport drag strip, right? But fantastic looking place. So I was looking at the results there. So it was Jeff Coleman kind of tuned me in on this one, right? And so I know you've got Rad Torque. So there it is.
Yes,
3 days of racing was their opener. Dawn Henderson. So forgive me as I'm trying to piece these players together, because I'm just learning about a lot of these folks out west here as I go. So she was the 2021 Super Pro champ at Rad Torque. She's racing at Area 53. She ended up kicking off her season with a Saturday runner-up and a Sunday win in Super Pro. Sean,
I think Schooner.
Okay.
Schooner.
I was struggling with that one. So he took home the win on Saturday over Dawn in Super Pro. Pro winner. So they've got Super Pro, I think, which is a no box, and then Sportsman, which is, I guess, like we would call street, right?
Yeah.
Veronica Pedersen, and I think Veronica doubled up, because I remember seeing through here she was the Sportsman winner on Monday, so 3-day race, and I love that. Nothing more than seeing 3 days of racing on a 3-day weekend, right?
Yeah.
Big voucher of that. Blake Wells in Super Pro, and then Colby Pedersen. I'm assuming of some relation to Veronica, just based on the name, but
I can't. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know how popular of a name Pedersen is out there, but
we're just making assumptions on our end. But Colby was the Pro winner, so the Pedersen name boxes up Sunday and Monday for wins in Pro. So awesome to see that. We need to see the track from the videos we saw, the winner circle pictures. I mean, there's one thing that we'll hit home probably in another episode here. There is nothing I love more than seeing a track posting winners, results, pictures as fast as you can, right? One of the hardest things about doing the Canadian Countdown sometimes is finding this info. And we went to Area 53 and I found everything right off the bat, right? The winners were there. They had the bonus money payouts because they had some Saturday bonus payouts that I could see from sponsors. Great job on those folks. Look forward to seeing more results from that track and from others racing out there, because it looks like a neat place, I have to admit. I
agree. I 110% agree. So I kind of skipped through the notes. I know where you were leading me on that last one. Was talking about Rad Torque Raceway. Yep. I was just really excited about the Area 53 stuff.
I know. I was watching the video with you, and I have to admit, my brain was kind of stuck on there, because it was. It's always neat to find a cool little track, and this looked like a cool little track, right?
It did look cool, and pretty cool for Dawn Henderson, that that she was the champion at Rad Torque Raceway and defending champion. So neat to still her that maybe that's her home track. I'm unsure.
Yep.
We can figure out, right? Some people names to follow.
That's it. And a roadster. I'm just going to throw this out there. Nice to see a roadster putting up W's. Not that I have any sort of favoritism on that. It's just anytime I see a roadster, I'm just kind of like, oh, that's great. It's
that's nice. That's nice.
It's nice,
right? Yeah. So in Edmonton, Rad Torque Raceway, where I will be in actually a month today, I think. Pretty sure we leave a month today. Maybe it's yesterday. It's getting close for the race that we're flying out to go do. But they have the Top Eliminator Series going on this weekend for their season opener. So that's 2 5-grand races. One Saturday, one Sunday. They were able to accomplish both of them. It was a great weekend. Looking through, Ryan O'Connor had a lights out weekend for the most part. He close to sealing the deal for both events. Saturday, he lost in the final against Andy. I believe it's Andy Shue.
Yeah, that's right to me. Yeah.
Yes, it looks good. Andy Shue takes the win over Ryan O'Connor in the finals of Super Pro for the 5-grander Saturday. And then the next day, Sunday, as I said, Ryan O'Connor comes back, switches lanes. Saturday he was in the right lane. Yep. I watched the videos after. Saturday he was in the right lane, no good. Sunday comes back, takes the left lane. I don't know if he picked it, don't matter. Turns the wind light on over Ashley Huffman. So nice. Great for him. Great weekend. That's great way to start it, right? Pick up a 5 and then pick up the runner-up. An honorable mention that I did want to bring up as well. Chevy Reeves, quarterfinal finish both days. It's very consistent. Great start to the year.
Yeah.
Right? So that's cool. I'm really excited to follow this series. Yep. They run quarter mile for all the Top Eliminator races.
Yep.
Well, it's still neat, right? They're flying down there. I don't race quarter mile enough. It kind of makes me nervous now. Going fast.
Going the big mile an hour on the long track, right?
Yeah, that's right. It just feels wrong. You're holding on to it for so long now.
Yeah.
But coming up for them at Rad Torque Raceway, they're in a switch gear. This is a new series that they're just starting and Chevy Reeves runs Rad Torque Raceway, or his family. So it's the Heavy Metal Mayhem, 8th Mile Mayhem point series that they're doing. So then it mixes it up, right? A lot of those guys out there, I guess similar to Grand Bend and Cayuga area, they love the quarter mile. That's what it is. That's drag racing, And then so this is a good mix that they go. I don't know if it's exactly every other weekend, but nice to have one weekend dedicated to half track and one dedicated to the full track.
Yep, mixing it up, going back and forth, and for what looks like decent money. I saw they had lots of round prizes and other specialty stuff. Like, it looks like they've got a lot of exciting programs out there, right? And,
it's great. The pay structure kind of goes off of how many people come in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
it's a great deal.
That works, right? That's Canadian racing, right? Like, that's what you get to expect when up this way is that you're going to get prorated type payouts right up and down, but it's great to see that type of racing's taking place out there. Right? I enjoy learning more about what's going on like far east, right, and far west, because there's some really great programs and some neat concepts and ways that guys are organizing things like promoters and whatnot that that's a smart idea, right? And it's exciting to see, right, outside of the little bubble that we always feel like we're in our own little neck of the woods, right?
And then that's the only way that everything gets done, right? You only think it's this way. Yeah. And then you look around and you're like, I guess that's pretty neat. And it's fun because then to me, I look at these events, I'm like, I'd really like to try that.
Yep.
If that was a reasonable distance for me to drive, then I'd go to that race, Yeah. Unfortunately, it would take me about 2 days of nonstop driving, but
I was gonna say, I think it's 37 hours from where I'm sitting. Just because someone close to us here was going to make the drive out west for a race, and then they came up with 34 to 37 hours, and that's kind of getting me all the way down to Louisiana, and then coming back quite a bit before.
Yes,
that's only one way. So, but maybe one day. I know you've got that trip going out west, and I'm excited to see how that goes for you. So
absolutely, and that's why they made plans, right? I was actually talking to Chevy today. Quick side note on that, which is going to be really fun to share with everybody. But on the Thursday night before the event, they have a drift event going on.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever, Chevy said one of the pro drifter racers that they have, he's going to set it up so I can go for a ride with them around the track.
No way.
Thursday night. And then we can take video from it. So I'm excited for that. That's going to be cool.
This is just basically going to be one hairy burnout, right? The type of burnout that we lament in drag racing, but on purpose.
Yeah, that's right.
Should be fun.
That's right. So now, like, I guess that's kind of pretty much right. That was everybody.
That was as much as we could find on what was happening. After all this, we talked about what's coming up. I think there's some neat racing coming up this weekend and the next couple of weeks. But let's talk about your adventures over the last 2 weeks. You, Rachel, the Ogilvy family, and everyone else in Eastern Ontario. You're the only ones I can find that have been out racing for 2 weekends already. And it's not June 1st. You had the Super Tour opener at ICAR, May 14th, 15th.
Yep.
With some weather affected. You've had opening weekend at Luskville for 5K a day with some mild weather.
Weather affected.
Yeah, there was some weather affected. So why don't you fill us in? Started off with the ICAR trip. That was the season opener for everyone out east. How'd all that go down?
Excellent. A lot of fun. I was really happy with how it worked. As everybody knows, and it happens to the best of us, right? We roll in, especially when we haven't had a chance to test. Mainly, I do blame that on COVID because everybody's used to not starting till midway through June.
Yeah.
So then, why are we starting so early this year? But we rolled in there. So there were some, little issues that go on, as they always do, right? You fight the little gremlins. I was very fortunate that we didn't really find any with our stuff, right? Had to bleed the brakes a little bit. Like they were just a little bit spongy in my car, but other than that, got them all sorted out and we were good to go. Rolled through. I spoke about here with never winning in Daniel's car and never winning the first iCar event.
Yeah,
I was really close to doing both. I rolled down there. I ended up in the final round in Daniel's car with a chance, and then unfortunately ran into duct tape Dave. And a faulty transmission button. But my opponent in the final, Dave Rennie, in the little Vega, I think goes 520s. I think he was dialed
520s or 530s. I mean, it flies. It was a fast little setup.
And it leaves excellent. Like, it looks great. Dave, round 5 in the quarterfinals, pulls up in the lanes, has his opponent, they're ready to go. The ambulance, unfortunately, gets caught in kind of no man's land up in the front of the lanes, and a lot going on, stuff moving, not a whole lot of space at iCar.
Yeah.
The ambulance is backing up, backs into the front of Dave's car, into the front of the Vega, crushes in, didn't get too far that it hurt any actual like mechanical pieces. It didn't get into the rad or nothing like that.
Just that fiberglass front clip.
Yeah. So, but did a good number on that. Made it really, wasn't very pretty.
Yeah.
Dave's opponent at that time, Andre Balabi, says, hold on, we're all good. Go fix it. He turns around, drives back to the pits where he meets, a army of people, it seems. And they posted a video, great video. He said it felt like, as I could imagine, like an hour, right? The video was 8 minutes long. They hammered as much tape as they could and whatever they could get to hold the front end together so that all the fiberglass wasn't falling off and whatnot down the track. As we said, he's clipping. So,
Here's 45 mile an hour plus car here, right? So,
So they get all set back together. Like I said, Andre just waits in the lanes for him, says no rush. Nobody's going to hurry him up. Understand that's a crappy deal. Dave gets it turned around, takes a minute, has a Gatorade, has to relax. They get the water on him, cool him down because you're hot.
Oh yeah.
At that point in time, and Dave was doubled most of the day.
Oh yeah, so he's already pretty worn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's had a long day doing this. He comes back up, gets the win, rolls through 3 more rounds to race me in the final, and then, as we all saw in the live video, I hit the trans brake button, and let go of it, and then when I keep my foot on the brake until I let go of the button.
Yep. So
I let go, the car rolls forward, no bueno. So I did find my issue. It was the button. I was playing with. I still actually got it in my truck. Just I don't know why.
Yeah, don't get rid of that. Just mount that up for all the other buttons to see what happens if you cause me headache, right?
And I can feel it when I lean on it. because I push with the side of my thumb, right? And I had one of the Biondo 00 buttons, so it's got a big lip on the outside. And when I would lean on it, if you hit it the right way, it'll click, but it'll lock and won't actually push the end down in. And I can watch it do this right now, like in my truck as I was just sitting there, whatever, fidgeting with it.
Yeah.
So that was my problem. Got that changed, dealt with, so we won't have it again. But that little button cost me a lot of money.
I was gonna say it's one of those little, not that it's a couple dollar parts, but a couple dollar part cost a little bit of cash there in the final round, right?
Yeah.
And that was so that was a double purse because Sunday was already.
Yes, Sunday was already canceled. Correct. Yes, so we doubled it all up. So instead of being 5, then it was 10.
Yeah.
Which was great. We had great money to pay back. At 4 cars, everybody that was there made out very well to start the year.
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome start, right? You can't. And I was, for the most part, I felt really good. I had 2 rounds in the middle of the day that I was getting shaky. Yeah. We spoke about before the race that the winner of that day was going to be able to, whoever could deal with the heat the most. Yeah. Because we didn't get a spring start. We started and it was 30 degrees.
As I say, I thought I saw mid low 80s or something like that without.
It was hot.
Yeah.
And we were you're just not used to it, right? In the middle of August,
it's hard to bear with after a couple months of being used to, let alone, as you say, jumping right into it. So
yeah. So had a couple rounds there, 2 laps. I lost my entry being late, and then had another one. You have your lucky round throughout the day.
Out of curiosity, that one round that you were late, who was that against?
That was against my wife, yes.
Rachel being one up on the season at this point now, right?
Yes.
So
yes. Rachel comes out round 3 and wears me out. So there was just nowhere for me to go. Yep. So that was a great way to start and then after that I was like, oh, I'm done. It's over. And then, regrouped in Daniel's car. We did all right.
Take a breather, figure it out, get back in the car. And so that's not a bad way to open it up. So that was good for opening weekend. So then skip ahead 1 week. Now you're at Luskville for opening weekend, right? It's 5 and a 5 again. This is Luskville's own points, not a Super Tour event. Right.
So it was a 5 on Saturday, would have been 2,500 on the Sunday.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So the only place now, Luskville's in Quebec, but I guess de facto Ontario, but it's still Quebec. So the only place running in Quebec that I'm aware of, and only place on this end of Canada appears, other than Cayuga, got a points race, ready to roll, get in on Saturday, right? And you get rolling. And you're doubled again in both cars? Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So let's fill us in on that glorious story, because if a button in a final round wasn't a topper after having your wife wear you out in round 3, you have another matchup against her.
Yes.
And you have a very interesting final 5-car matchup here that ends with a whole bunch of stuff getting tossed around, but not in the way you think, right?
No, it was it was very interesting. It was thrilling, to say the least. Right now, I still feel thrilled about the whole thing, about how it went down. Roll in there, great to be back in Luskville. Wheel into my parking spot the way you always do. The day started out really nice. Rolled through, driving both cars, and I thought it was good at iCar. In both cars, I was lights out in. I want to say it was round 5. I lost in Daniel's car. Same thing, right? Just
a great lap, just on the wrong side of it.
Absolutely. So it was a good day of racing with that. No problems. It was round 3 once again that I did have to race Rachel. Yep. This is where it did become, as Trevor says, 1-1. That was actually John Chambers just posted a picture of that round at the finish line where Rachel is in front.
Yep.
She sees the picture. She looks, see, look, I won. I was like, hold on. I believe you were red. So we're going to keep track of that all year. So,
the head-to-head. I've never seen a husband and wife match up as many times as you and Rachel. And at this point, I guess it's Rachel's parents, Mike and Vicky.
Yeah.
at the first event, right? Because I remember seeing that update on the Bracket Life story. So
Yes.
this is to be the ongoing theme for the rest of the year is where is this matchup at, right? Right now, we're tied heading back home, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and Vicky won that race as well
Yeah.
against Mike.
The
So
wives came out on top in round 3 in ICAR, right?
they did. So now we're 1-1. We got through it. We're rolling down. So there's a Mulligan race on Saturday at Luskville. So then you just buy a Mulligan, you can use it anytime through the race. So it makes it a little longer. When it's done, it'll be a 10-round race.
Yeah.
When we're all finished. We're at the round of 5 cars left.
Yeah.
And
so
then
5 dragsters left. No, so 5 total. 3 dragsters left.
3 dragsters, 2 door cars.
Yeah.
Door cars have already went for their round, and we know how the ladder is going to fold out from here. So we're going to carry on the race in 2 weeks. I was in the lanes, waiting for my opponent Mike Chenier to pull up, and then it all just kind of went sideways from there.
Literally, in a lot of cases.
The lightning was coming in. The lightning struck actually, and all the power went out, and then messed the system. So then we were obviously done for racing. So the juniors were on the line. They get through, get out of the way, get them all set up and headed down. Quicker for me to just drive down the track. And it's a good thing I got down there. Yeah. And it is a very good thing that Rachel had put Daniel's car away. They had just closed up the Ogilvy trailer. Rachel had just backed my car in. I get there, Rachel takes the nose off. And before I could get the car in the trailer, rain and wind and hail came down like nothing I've ever seen. Actually, Rachel's sister Ashley was going to get in my car to drive into the trailer.
Yep.
She could not see the dash of the dragster through the hail and wind and rain. So I jumped in, wheeled it in, got us to safety.
Do you have video of that you can put up? I mean, I think it's on the Bracket Life page as well. Like, this is wild. I've packed up. So at Grand Bend, for those who don't know, so Grand Bend's right up against Lake Huron. We are a kilometer and a half, 2 kilometers from the lake at most. Okay, deepest, coldest lake of all the lakes, I think. Somebody told me that, and I believe them, or that really is the truth. I'm not sure of all the Great Lakes, but you get a lot of systems that roll off of there. So I'm very used to hearing we have 10 minutes and seeing the blackest of black skies you've ever seen rolling at you, and immediately either being we need to leave the lanes, or if you're at the pits, packing up. So at home, I'm hearing about all this as we're going along, and this was a wild video that showed up on the Bracket Life page of you wheeling this dragster in what looks like rain. Until you told me it was hail, I thought this was just pounding rain, and this all went down in like 5 minutes or less between we're about to run a semi and when you're getting loaded up, right?
Yeah. So I'm getting the video. Should have had this ready.
No, that's okay. I just thought about putting you on the spot as we're talking, because I remember watching this and thinking this was the craziest thing I'd seen, right? Now, mind you, at the same time, I'm also looking at myself going, this was wild how fast you loaded this thing in there. I've only ever seen one person load a dragster with as much or more elegance in that speed. And it was at Virginia, and I think it was... Oh, I can't remember now. I don't want to put that family on the spot because I'm not sure. But I watched this dude wheel a dragster in backwards into a stacker, just like a kid throwing a toy into a toy box, and it was mint. This was a solid second place to that.
Oh yeah, I was. We were in a hurry.
Yeah, I can imagine. But so
I got it here.
You got it.
I got the reel. Rachel made a reel, so we'll share the screen. We'll go through here.
Yeah.
Once it friggin' comes up. Of course, now it's being slow, right?
That's all right.
Screen 2, share. Here we go. Oh, I don't know if I froze or if...
No, you're still good.
Perfect.
There.
Here we go. So you can see the comments on the side. So this is the Facebook reel. So 319, we get the emergency alert.
Yep. 341.
343. This is me pulling the car in.
And that's hail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the next day, the one trailer thrown over in the field. Another trailer thrown in the field.
Signs gone. Unreal.
It was wild. It was a thrilling time, to say the least. Yeah, bring that one back up.
Oh my God.
What was I saying? Yeah. So they called that. What was the name of it? It's called a Dreco.
Okay.
It wasn't a tornado. It was a Dreco. So it's similar to a tornado, but the wind all goes in one direction instead of in a circle. So
crazy.
Yeah, that was kind of how it ended.
Well, that was it. I guess the track, they spent the next 2 days of basically cleaning up at Luskville, and I saw some some updates from the track saying they got everything kind of fixed up Monday. Yeah. People stuck around and got it fixed up. So
I believe the power was Monday too. So like they couldn't even, we couldn't race if everything was ready.
It was arm drop racing at best if you were hoping, right?
Yeah, but it was cool. Like thrilling. Now, glad that nobody was hurt.
Yeah.
One lady actually, there was a door that had flung open and hit her in the back, and that had knocked one person out because the wind was, unbelievable.
Yes.
I said when I had got out of the car after I drove it in the trailer, I got the back door slammed. Well, Rachel was still inside the trailer, and all the doors were shut.
Yeah.
So I had to open the side door in because in my head I decided probably leaving my wife in the storm, stuck in the trailer that just had 2 race cars running in it. Not a great idea.
Not the strongest move, right?
No. So I whipped that open, and it is a good thing that gravity likes me, because that door was trying to take me out. Jeez. Right? But yeah, that's kind of how it ended. Yeah. And the heavy stuff seemed like a long time. I guess it was 5-10 minutes. Yeah. Rained for a little bit after that.
And then it was gone. Right.
And it was gone. And it all cleared up. But looking at different cottages and stuff, everybody kind of in the north kind of area around us and around Ottawa, even just north of Belleville, it was wild. So
yeah, we had some pretty good damage out this way. Not us directly, but like even Grand Bend. I had a friend about an hour before it hit us, which is we're a little west of Toronto for those not familiar with where we're from. Yeah. That's fine, right? But Grand Bend, they sent me a few pictures, and like the sky is green, right? If it's not green, it's black. And I'm thinking to myself, there's a lot of places I would much rather be than in Grand Bend when the sky is green coming at you off the lake, and that same front went right across. And ironically, Saturday, Cayuga, so the one day Cayuga got in, I was watching that front, the same one that went across and devastated everything from pretty much like Sarnia right on through past Ottawa. Missed Cayuga by what I figure is a couple miles.
Yeah.
I was looking at the radar. My buddy Glenn's down there, and thinking they're going to get hit. And that thing tapered off like 2 miles north of Cayuga, which is down on Lake Ontario, south of Hamilton. So opposite side of the province in the sense of the lake from where on my end of it. Nothing. Now they got hit Sunday and it rained, but that was that front movement.
Nothing like what kind of we had experienced.
No, I don't even think anyone said there was even a cloud in the sky. If it was in the far distance. And that's the constant joke about Cayuga is that, there's a Cayuga triangle, right? It can be raining everywhere but the track, or it can be raining nowhere except the track. Yeah. In this particular case, it literally was raining everywhere but the track. So what a heck of a weekend in Ontario. I'm kind of glad I got to stay home from that standpoint. So
I hear you. I hear you.
So you got a round left. So a couple weeks time, you reconvene. You've got a couple rounds left. You got Kyle Jessup still in on both sides with the Roadster and the Dragster. He's got a bye in the Dragster. He's already in the final of the door car. I'm being corrected. Joe Piper's correct. He is from that area of the world. Chuck Fram, Lake Erie. You're right. I don't know my geography well enough on my lakes. I just know there's a lake that's like 2 miles south of Cayuga. 3 miles maybe. Not kilometers, miles, and it's right there. So, Lake Effect Racing. I don't know if we've talked about that. I think we have. Not
yet.
No. Okay.
No.
We'll get to that. Lake Effect Racing.
Not here.
Yeah.
But you'll have to.
But nonetheless, exciting weekend for you guys. Exciting 2 weekends for you guys. So
and great racing. Kind of at the end of it, even with the way the final ended, and then with the weather that we saw. Still very happy with how I've started the year.
Yep.
So really hope, obviously you hope that you're going to ride it out for the whole season, but feeling really good in both dragsters.
Yep.
And confident in it. So Yeah, I'm in a really good spot. Heading out this weekend again to race at Naperville.
That was
Weather
a
looks
decent
good.
looking race there, right? It's
Yeah,
I think like $2,000, prorated up to 3 or more,
yeah,
in Super Pro.
3,000 both days. So
Yeah,
it'll be fun. I'm excited. Looks like we'll get to race for 2 days this time.
that's right. All these 1 day trips at $2.40 a liter
Yeah,
of diesel fuels adding up. Not much fun on that end, right? Finally get 2 days in.
that's right.
So,
That's right.
so let's move into a great conversation on what's coming up, because there is a lot of exciting racing coming up, both from a racing standpoint. In 2 weeks, I hope to get my butt to a racetrack and actually racing something.
Yes.
But you've got Naperville coming up this weekend. There's a lot of Canadian contingent heading down to Norwalk, PDRA race at Norwalk this weekend. To my best estimation, I think I counted 7, maybe 8 different teams / cars heading to PDRA that are Canadian. Spencer Hyde, the Pro Boost team, Smokey's Garage with their Pro Boost and Top Sportsman. I counted, I think, 4, maybe 5 Top Sportsman cars, all from our part of Ontario, heading down there. Kyle Harris, second in points in PDRA. I know he'll be heading there, right? So I'm excited. I'm not racing this weekend. I'm spending another weekend either unloading cars I need to do more work to, since I didn't go out this weekend, or loading cars that I'm done with. But we're going to have some PDRA racing in the background. Grand Bend in 2 weeks is an opening weekend. They've got, and that's the Elite Series too, right? Luke Bulgaki's. This is Bracket Racing Elite Driver Series. It was supposed to be our opening points weekend for that series at Grand Bend this past weekend. Clearly not. So which means in 2 weeks it'll be the opening weekend for that one. Which should be exciting. I don't know if I told you this. Did I tell you that Saturday morning I'm coming in cold with no time trials at that race?
No.
No, I didn't tell you that? Okay. So back to the bracket life part of our general conversation, right? The fact that we live our lives around bracket racing and plan much of our life around going racing. But every now and then there's something that gets into your life where you just can't say no to. Weddings, we've typically said no to. It's racing season. Get-togethers, parties. No, sorry, I'm heading to the track. Your 4-year-old's recital, her first recital, on a Saturday morning of a race day. Logistically, I think I can go from the recital Saturday morning to Grand Bend in time to unload the cars and make round 1. At the very least, make the buyback round if I can't make round 1. I've been working this math left, right, and center, and I think I can make it happen. We're going to go test Friday. Going to rent the track. I got to shake some stuff down. Nothing like going to a race with possibly no time trials on the first race day and having nothing but untested cars, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm probably going to be that parent that when my kid's done, it's going to be, excuse me, pardon me, as I work myself through the audience to jump into a waiting vehicle to drive 2 hours and 15 minutes to Grand Bend, and hopefully, if I'm very lucky and I don't get my ducks too much in a row, or eggs in a row here, but someone will have a car warmed up for me to jump into to hit round 1. But that'll be our first race weekend. St. Thomas has got their first weekend coming up this weekend, actually.
Correct.
Opener for their series. And geez, what else do I look forward to? We've got the National Open coming up at Cayuga, June 17th, 18th, 19th.
Yeah, that is coming quick, eh?
Yeah. I was caught off guard by that one a little bit. So that'll be the first big weekend in the sense of NHRA racing in Canada. I know Rad Torque has a National Open they do. I think it's in July or August. We can talk about that one as it comes up, because in the past they've had it. Usually it was their Nitro Nationals when they were IHRA, and I think they've combined it now. Naperville's got a National Open coming up this later in the year. Miramichi, that's part of the Eastern Canadian Series Tour. So there's some big events coming up here. I'm taking a wild stab in the dark, but some of the Eastern super racers should be probably heading down to Reading. I think that Division 1 race is coming up. So
should be. Yeah, they should have a lot. Normally, Reading gets a huge turnout from maritime racers as well. A lot of guys that I met when I was racing in Miramichi, they're all down there. I think it's Doug Wathrall. He is usually really lights out in top dragster at Reading.
Yep.
Last few, or well, not the last few years, but I remember before watching him. And once somebody from the East Coast is winning rounds, then if you have 15 guys on your Facebook that live in the East Coast, all 15 are on Facebook letting you know how he's doing.
Yeah.
So there's
Well,
not a mystery. Yeah. And I love it. Right. So I'm excited to see how they make out.
Yep.
They were racing, actually. We should have brought this up. I meant to. In Miramichi, they had a high school challenge to start the year. They had like a test and tune, and then the high school challenge going on this weekend or last weekend, I guess. So the high school kids, or each school, they put together a race car, and then they go out. I think they see how fast they can make them, and then they did a burnout competition.
Yep.
Like they were getting
after it a bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah,
running will be fun. I'm excited to see the NHRA stuff.
Yeah.
I think this year we talked about Charlie Canopik because he has. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't had an update from Charlie yet on if he was able to get his gold card moved around from his divisional championship.
Yeah, because he won the 2019 title, and then 2020 he's locked into Canada.
Not even use it.
Yeah.
So then I'm not sure if he got that sorted out, but I'd imagine Charlie's itching to get out there and defend his championship finally.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we need to watch that. There'll be a lot of, I guess, background split live streaming going on between PDRA and NHRA Reading, and I think there might be some big money races, but I don't know. There's so many all the time now. It seems like you just turn on Motor Mania and there's always something on, right? But we'll definitely be watching, see how our Canadian friends are doing, and how everyone else is, what they're up to, right? So should be fun. And then,
sorry.
No, I was gonna say, and follow and see what's happening out in Napierville, because the Eastern racers are definitely 1, 2, 3 weekends in a row getting right after it with some decent money and some big time racing. So
absolutely. So it's fun. I'm having a blast with the setup as it is right now.
Yeah.
Going racing, just enjoying it. Talking about the live stream stuff though.
Yep.
That's what we want to talk about in 2 weeks. So when everyone wants to check in, want to see what's going on for the next broadcast, we want to talk about live streaming a drag race or the bracket races, such as Motor Mania TV, Bang Shift. Is it Drag Race TV or Drag Racer?
Drag Racer TV, I believe, is what is on YouTube. There's Golf Star.
Golf Star just did their first. Is that their first stream?
I'm not sure. I think they've done other ones. That was his first.
That was his first event. Golf Star put on themselves.
Yep.
But yeah, so lots of live streaming channels or outlets of Flow Racing that does all the
the pay-per-view style racing. Yeah.
So lots of that stuff going on. So we want to talk about the impact it has on racing in general, spectators, having interaction with racers, growing momentum, advertising it does for tracks, events, things like this, and the impact it can have on Canadian racing.
Yeah, right? I think there's a big conversation there, and I think there's something there that we, as a Canadian motorsports, we need to get on board with a bit more. I was a little amazed at when you go through Flow Sports, just how many smaller, as you and I would look at it, as bracket tracks, not bracket tracks, but Grand Bends and Cayugas and Luskvilles, Area 53s. Type tracks that televise their dirt track series or their stock car series. I mean, it was a laundry list, and it just reaffirmed more of my thoughts. There's something big there that we need to, I think, get more on top of as a group in Canada. The Americans side of, you're certainly seeing it quite a bit, right? And you saw it this past weekend where there was 3 big money bracket races going on at once, and this upcoming weekend there'll be a few more, right? We just don't see that. I think maybe that's something we do need to start seeing more of, and finding ways to do that. Because, I want to watch racing from Mission. I want to watch racing from Luskville. I want to watch racing from Miramichi. I want to watch racing from Cayuga if I'm at Grand Bend and we're down for some reason, and flip back and forth. So, I think it connects us more. It gets a larger audience. It doesn't necessarily sacrifice something. It only can help you, right? but it's something I played around with my series back in 2012 through 15. It was, that was 10 years ago. Some of the technology is pretty basic compared to what you can buy off the shelf at Staples now, right? But
yeah, exactly.
It was fun to be able to bring families that couldn't come to the track with us, via the live stream. And I had a lot of people talk about that. And, it wasn't the greatest live stream ever, self-admittedly. I did as much as I could with it. But you know what? I saw a lot of value in it. I think there's more to it. So we need to talk about that as we get into that next week or 2 weeks from now, sorry. And hopefully by then I've turned some wheels on race cars. We've got some more results from everyone, right? PDRA and Division 1. It'd be neat this weekend to see everyone just light it up, put a Canadian flag in the winner's circle in as many places as possible.
That's right.
So
it'll be cool. I'm excited. Big thing I want to hear from you is I want to hear how the recital goes and how
this all goes down. This mess of a Saturday morning I'm planning for myself. This should be epic.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm excited. It's going to be fun. So,
absolutely.
No. So. But, that's pretty much it for this week. Busy. I'm busy. I watched the motorhome tonight. So,
jeez. You've done well.
Yeah. We watched the race cars. Because as you could see from the video we showed earlier, Rachel was standing at the front of the trailer.
Yeah.
So give or take 28, 30 feet away from the back. And Rachel was still getting hit with the rain and hail.
So you dried the race car. You didn't necessarily wash them. They would already.
We didn't dry the race car.
The sham wow finish, right?
Yes, that's right. My fire suit is actually still hanging. You should see the video Rachel took. I was like a wet dog when I came in from there, just dripping wet. It was ridiculous. We got all that done, so I'm pretty well ready to go.
Yep.
Throw some food in the motorhome, and I'm off to the races. But we'll be talking to you guys in 2 weeks. We'll see what happens. Should be a lot of fun. Yep. For everybody who does go out and race or has a successful time, send us a message. Let us know how you make out. As we talked about earlier, not always is it very easy to find the results on Facebook and through life in general, right? Everybody's busy. Everybody's got a million things going on. If you win or your buddy wins or whoever has an unreal weekend, send it over to Bracket Life. We want to talk about it. We want to highlight it here in the Canadian Countdown, right? So for everybody watching, make sure you do that. Send us a message. We're going to set up a way for you to submit, your accomplishments or event wins or whatever it may be. So
your duct tape Dave stories, whatever.
All of it. I want to hear it. I want to know about it. I want to share those stories to everybody else. That's what we want to do with the broadcast. So make sure, check that out, spread the information, let your buddies know, or, like I said, when you go down and you tear them all up and turn on a bunch of win lights, over the next few weeks. Anywhere. Let us know.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's cool. And you deserve to be celebrated.
Yeah.
So thank you guys very much for watching. And always a pleasure. Glad you take the time out to do this with us. Thank you to Pro One for supporting us, everything they do, keeping the show going, all of our great sponsors. Make sure you follow us on like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel, go to the website, sign up for the Bracket Life Bulletin. The weekly newsletter we send out has links to all the YouTube videos, our vlogs that we do, all of our blogs that Rachel and I write every week. We rotate back and forth. Check all that stuff up. Keep up with everything we've got going on, especially now, right? We're getting into the heat of it. We got a lot going on. We're busy, a lot of racetrack stuff. So it's cool.
Absolutely.
But thank you guys for everything. We'll be talking to you. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Have a good one.
Canadian racers, make sure your next set of seatbelts and racing suit are from ProOneSafety.ca. Pro One Racing and Safety products offer high-quality products made in the USA and now distributed in Canada. Pro One Canada offers seatbelts, racing suits, helmets, and all sorts of safety accessories for drag racers. See for yourself why NHRA sportsmen world champions such as Bo Butner, Jeff Strickland, the Emmons brothers, Austin Williams, Williams, and many more. Rely on Pro One racing and safety products. Join the winners. Choose Pro One. Buy high-quality American-made products from your Canadian wholesale distributor at ProOneSafety.ca.